down here at the mine. There's been previous sightings here within the last couple of weeks where some people were literally chased out of here by two of them. There's about an eighth of a mile, about 300-400 yards down the trail here, there's a mine. So we installed a trail camera. Like I said, apparently 3 weeks ago, some people were camping down there and they were literally chased out of there. They were running for their lives. So we've talked to some of the locals and we've heard some of the encounters that have taken place in this area, and it's unprecedented. We're talking numerous life and death occurrences where these people have literally almost been taken, their children have almost been abducted, but they seem to be probably taking shelter in these mines down here. So we've placed cameras in the mine or in front of the mine and along the trail here. And as you can see, it's a pretty steep climb. And the day that we actually set the camera up in front of the mine, we actually were down in it and we actually heard something walking in it. Now, I don't know if it was one of those, I don't know if it was a deer, but there was something in the mine. But at any rate, this area has had activity for the last 20-some years, and just not a lot of people know about it. They reported it to the authorities. The authorities would not believe them, but these people have had some dramatic experiences, some real life encounters, and I'm talking life and death. We've come down to investigate and check the situation out and see if we can bring some closure to this situation by proving that these things do exist and getting them on film and showing their connection to the end time as we're in now. The offspring of the Nephilim will come into play once the tribulation begins on the planet. And these things are all part of that. And part of our goal as a research organization is to uncover what's been hidden and to let it be known and to make it so that people can understand what's going on. And it's just not a figment of somebody's imagination. It's certainly not just urban legend and lore. It's a real thing. You can tell them you heard it first at the West Virginia Bigfoot Research Center.
Yeah, so this is the mine shaft right here. Mike is at the face of it where these things are taking shelter. We heard some noises coming down in here thinking these things are paralleling us, following us down. So.
All right, my name is Mike Pentycofe. I'm the founder of the West Virginia Bigfoot Research Center, and we're here today in Fairmont, West Virginia, and we're going to interview a few folks that have had some encounters here the past years. It's September 28th, 2017. It's Thursday, and the names of these folks are going to be not disclosed, and we're not going to disclose any of the locations, but we'd like to get some information. These folks are going to share some of the most traumatic encounters that they've had. What we have heard here is probably something that's unprecedented. This family has many occurrences where these things have just been a nuisance and have literally attacked the family members. So we're going to get some of this information and just kind of keep it for the record.
Yeah, so we're at the property right now where a lot of these encounters occurred, and I'm just focusing on this field right here. The wood line used to be like right where this tree is, but it's opened up a lot more, but this is where a lot of the encounters took place. So I have Candy here, and she has been harassed relentlessly by these creatures. Candy, can you just, like you said, you were 16 the first time you had an encounter. Like, can you describe that?
Yes, I was watching, I was up late watching movies like teenagers do. And I had an awful feeling I was being watched. And I couldn't understand why I was having the bad feeling. And I looked into the kitchen and the curtain was open. So I thought I would just walk in and shut that curtain. So I walked in, and as I reached up to shut the curtain, there was one pressed up against the window right there staring back at me.
That's awful.
And then it took off running really quick. And that first time I wasn't sure that I seen what I thought I seen, because it was just so unbelievable.
Right. And as you got older, I know you mentioned something about when you were taking your son, brought your son up here, or was it your nephew?
It was my nephew, and I take care of him too, part-time.
Yeah.
And he had fallen asleep. He was about 4 years old, and he had fallen asleep, And since we live out in the country, I was just running in to see who all was home. And I ran in, nobody was home. I used the restroom, maybe 5 minutes if that, and I walked back out to the car, and he was screaming hysterically. And I said, what happened? And in his baby talk, he told me that Doggy tried to get him and broke my mirror, and the side mirror of the car was busted in a bunch of pieces where it was trying to get in to get him.
Wow.
And I know that it wanted to eat him.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's scary
It's really
stuff.
scary.
That is scary stuff. Oh my gosh. So then you mentioned one time about one of them jumping on your van.
Yes, I come over to visit, and you know, I know these things are here by now, and I wasn't living here at the time, but my parents still do. And as I was leaving, I had my brother walk me out, and as I got to the end of the driveway to see if anything was coming, the whole back of the van went down, and I knew that one was on the back of the van.
Wow, that is crazy.
It was.
Just don't hear stuff like that happening a lot. And then we've got your brother Matt here too. And Matt, I think you were sharing with Mike some of your experiences with these things. What stands out to you the most?
Well, when I was in high school, and I would go down to catch the bus, the bus wouldn't come until about 6 in the morning, and every morning that I would walk down, one of those things would be paralleling me in the woods. Every morning it would be following me, and you know, it's pretty bad that every morning that I'd walk down to the bus, I'd feel like my life was in danger. You know,
That's terrible.
It's a terrible thing to go through.
Right, right. And then didn't some of your buddies go looking for these things?
Yeah, 2 of my buddies went up to another location, and the first night they really didn't see anything. They just had a bad feeling come over them that they was being watched, and they decided to call in a night. And the next night when they went up there, they decided to build a fire and sit around a fire, and one come running up over the hill after them. And they said it took everything they had to get away from it. As soon as they got into their truck, he didn't even have enough time to shut his door. It hit against the truck and shut his door for him. And as they was fleeing away, it was hitting their truck. And when they pulled out onto the main gravel road there, another one come up over the hill, also chasing them.
How would you describe these things? What do you think they look like?
I really don't feel like it looks like any type of Sasquatch. Like, it don't look like a monkey to me. It looks more like a wolf in the face. Like, it's got a muzzle, and it's got pointy ears on the top of its head.
About how tall would you say?
I'd say the brown one that I've seen a few times is every bit of 9 foot tall.
Wow, how heavy? How much?
I'd have to say between 500 and 800 pounds.
Oh my gosh, that's a beast.
Yeah.
That's a beast. That is crazy. All right, so maybe we can walk around and get a few shots of some of the different areas on the property where you guys have seen these.
Okay.
But these creatures have been known to be tromping through this creek.
Yeah, on numerous occasions we've heard them. We'd just be out on the porch smoking, and it sounds like a herd of deer coming down through the creek.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just...
And what I noticed too, and I'm not sure if you've noticed, I can see where it looks like there's some nice tree bends right here. And they're known right down there to take the tree limbs and bend them. I've been looking for some tree twists, and you know, the closer we get to the wood line, we'll look for that. But yeah, clearly they've come through here.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But you said they were laying up against your house too.
Yeah, we had one laying on beside the house.
That's bizarre.
We was playing hide and seek when we was younger, and when we come around the corner, it jumped up and took off running.
Gee whiz.
I was like 7, wasn't I?
You were 7.
You were 7 when that happened? That is, and you saw it, didn't you?
I looked at
Mikey.
him and I was like, what's laying right there?
They're laying right next to the house.
And it just jumped up.
Yeah, I said, I don't know what that is. And as soon as I said that, it jumped off and took off running.
It's like they have no fear of you guys. They just think this is their property.
And this is the driveway that I would walk down every morning to go down to the bus.
Okay.
And it would parallel me in the woods all the
right
time.
Over on the left side here.
Every morning. Every morning. And when I'd get down to the turn right before the bridge, that's when it would stop paralleling me.
Wow. Where Candy's nephew, was it? Almost got taken out of one of these trampolines by one of these creatures.
Yes, it had crouched down in an old truck my dad had right here. And as soon as my brother just walked in to get a drink, it was up here trying to get him through the screen of the trampoline. And I know that's the only thing that saved my nephew's life.
Oh my gosh.
He had scratches on the top of his neck where it was trying to pull him by his shirt through the screen.
How old was your nephew?
He was probably 4 at the time.
4. Oh my gosh, these things are wild.
It wouldn't
They're
have
like
taken
animals.
it long to run off with him.
Wow. So we're up here in the woods. Right up above
I just noticed that.
property. And Mike's finding a tree. Oh, that's quite a tree bend right there. Holy smoke.
I don't know why I've never seen it. We're not looking for it. That ain't been here very long.
Yeah. That's definitely a tree bend. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're up in here. No question about it. Humans don't do that.
They don't generally bend that way naturally.
There's another one right up there too.
I see it.
See that? Yeah, there's another tree bend. So we've got some definite evidence here.
We've been in areas where there've been just so many tree breaks and tree snaps in. I figured it must have been coming there for a long time. But
they're in here.
nope.
So Mike's doing a call of a mourning dove, and Matt was sharing how 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning you heard one of these things making a mourning dove call.
Yeah, and you could tell that it was a bigger animal trying to imitate a small bird. And I know that mourning doves don't start doing any calls until almost the break of daylight.
Right,
you know.
right. But you heard that thing up there trying to imitate one.
And
they're known
we heard
for that.
twigs snapping and bushes moving. And
wow.
We're not alone up here.
Clearly not. So maybe Mike will get a response from one of them, or maybe we'll just come pay us a visit. Okay.
That'd be something. Come one of them come up out of the woods.
Oh wait, say that one more time. Your brother Butch lives down here, and he was working on his car.
Yeah, he's working on his car right down there, and it was dark because he works long hours.
His car was for years.
It was that red car where Matt's car is, that red car.
Okay.
And he was having rocks thrown at him, and my niece was holding a light for him, and it was throwing rocks at them.
So that was just, what, 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
So this activity is very recent, and Candy was saying that these things are here in the winter as well as the summer. It sounds like they don't leave here.